What up, y'all? It's the Real Ball Watcher. Grab your binoculars, and I'm back. JC jersey on. You know what it is. We covering defensive tackles. Back to the D-line. The reason I'm doing defensive tackles, even though it may not seem like the Panthers to take that, it seems like they want to go BPA no matter what. No matter regardless of position, what side of the ball it is. They brought in defensive tackles for top 30 visits. Top tier defensive tackles, middle of the class defensive tackles, lower tier defensive tackles. They brought in wide receivers, everybody. Dave Canales and Dan Morgan keep spouting that they're not going to take defense only if there's an elite playmaker there. They want to build up the front. They're going to build the defense at the same time. It's going to be a balanced draft. So we got to talk about every position that could possibly be taken. So today we doing our defensive tackle rankings, to say the least. So if you like the video, do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff. Comment what position you want to see next, because next week we're probably going to do corners. But comment if you want to see something else. And yeah, you know what it is. Let's get into it. So now, for my defensive, we got a couple honorable mentions. I do want to shout out Jamari Caldwell, CJ West. It was a couple of other guys that I liked a lot that didn't make this list. I do have, I think, 12 guys on this list because we got a couple ties. It might be 11. But that's how good this defensive tackle is. 10A or 10B, whichever one you want to start with. 10A, Joshua Farmer out of Florida State University. He's 6'3", 305, 177 10-yard split, which is most important. The 40 doesn't really matter because our D tackles running 40-yard dashes. No, in the game. 10-yard split shows how explosive their get off is and how fast they can get there. Forgot to put his arm length up there. I think it's like 34, if I'm not mistaken. But for his pros, his motor is great. He's going to go get it. Like, he's just a relentless pass rusher, relentless in the run game. And his athletic versatility, I've seen him line up at 5 technique and win in game, not just in Senior Bowl. Nose, 3 technique. He's super athletic. He can get an amazing quick first step. He's very strong. He's able to club and just remove guys, throw them out the way. But the thing is, he's not consistent. He has to put it all together. If he can put it all together, I could see him being much higher on this list, maybe like 8-7, somewhere in there. But because he's not consistent, I got to drop him to 10A. But I wanted to make sure he made this list because that's how good he is to me. I think the potential is definitely there. So I am a big fan of Joshua Farmer. Going to be defensive tackle 10A for me. Let's get into number 10B or 10, whatever you want to call it. Now, for 10B, we won't stay too long because SEC, we don't got no tape that we can show because of copyrights. But Alfred Collins. Basically, this is your run defender. He's 6'6", 305. I got to make sure that's correct. 34 and 5/8 in his arm. He did not run a 40, so I don't have a 10-yard split for him. But his pros, his anchor, he's rarely moved off of his spot. He's able to anchor down, put both feet in the ground, and not move in the run game. And then his arm length is his other pro that I have to add, because how easy separation he gets from tackles and guards or whoever's blocking him. I should say centers, not tackles. He can see in the run game, and that's what makes him so effective as a run defender. If you need a quasi nose tackle / 2-3 tech in your run game to be a dominant run defender, Alfred Collins is going to be your guy in like the second round. I'm not mad at it. Big guy. Texas has been churning out these defensive tackles. For his cons, pass rush consistency. His bag isn't consistent. His pass rush success isn't consistent. He is a complete project, or maybe not even project, but a complete projection or upside guy as a pass rusher. So yeah, that's kind of what you want. If you're drafting to be a pass rusher, you're going to be disappointed. If you're drafting just to be a stout run defending D tackle with a chance of getting some pass rush out of him, then you're going to be completely happy with this pick. 10B, he's much higher on other guys' lists. He could have been higher on this list, but I got some guys that I personally prefer over him. So let's get into those guys. Now for our defensive tackle 9 is going to be Tyleik Williams out of Ohio State. Imagine everything that I just said almost for Alfred Collins' run defense wise, but he is a much better pass rusher. So explosiveness is his first thing, whether it's in the run game or in the pass rush game. He has an explosive first step. He gets off the ball very fast. He's a very good mover at defensive tackle. He's 6'3", 334. Did not run a 40, so we don't have a 10-yard split. But he only has 32-inch arms, which is somewhat short for the position. Also, he's a big puncher. The way he's able to club guys with his hands and just beat guys up and move them around. Same thing with Alfred Collins and a couple other guys on this list, and also Joshua Farmer. But it works for him in the pass game as well. The biggest con to me is his pad level. Sometimes he pops straight up, and that can expose his chest, and that's why he's not as consistent as a pass rusher, because he gives up his chest a lot, and it kind of hurts your explosiveness or your first step. But really good player. I think that if you want a guy that's going to be a great run defender but has much more upside as a pass rusher versus Alfred Collins, I think this is your pick in the second round. Some people say he might sneak into the first. I could see it in the late first, like the Bills or something like that, the Chiefs. But I would be a lot more comfortable with him in the second round, somewhere around there. So, yeah, really good player. I like Tyleik Williams. Second round grade for me. I think he would be a great fit for somebody that's, like I said, if you're looking for a more balanced, maybe not a pass rusher, but a guy that has much more upside and can reach that potential easier, Tyleik Williams would be your guy. Sorry, another guy we can't put no tape up for, but I'll make it quick. Shamar Turner, basically 6'3", 290, a smaller guy, no 40-yard dash, but he has 33 and 5/8 arm, almost 34-inch arms. Anchor and block shed is his best thing. He plays, also, let's say both of them, he plays well above his size. He plays so strong, just as strong as some of these guys that are 310, 320. But his anchor is pretty good. He's rarely moved. He's able to get off the blocks, whether that's in the pass game and the run game. He's just an athletic D tackle. And he's surviving off his athleticism and his hand placement, which is great because that's what you want in a D tackle anyway. But for his cons, his pass rush bag isn't as expansive. It's not as consistent. Everything you think of those Texas A&M guys, you're going to say the same thing for him as a pass rusher. Still a good pass rusher, though, because of that athleticism. But you want to see it more consistent. You want to see him get more polished, things like that. But let's get into the next guy we actually got tape on. For my defensive tackle 7, Allied, I don't have any tape on him because he's also in the SEC. I have tape. Let me not say I don't have any tape on him. I have tape. I can't put it in the video because of the SEC. But let's make it quick. Omar Norman Lott. This is a guy I did not expect to like as much as I did, because I thought he was just this just a strictly DPR guy, go get the quarterback, and that's why he barely played any snaps at Tennessee. But I was surprised. His first step is amazing. He is explosive off this ball. He is still that pass rusher that you want, but his anchor is what surprised me. The fact that he's able to anchor up in the run game, make plays in the run game, he looks great. If he played a lot more, I see why people say he would be much higher on this list and is a sleeper, because he's very stout in the run and makes splash plays and just holds up. He's not getting blown off the ball either. He holds his ground in the run. His con is he barely played. Literally, when I'm watching cut-ups of guys, it could be 26, 30 minutes long most of the time. But his cut-ups, some of them was 8 minutes, 5 minutes. The longest one was 10 minutes or like 10 minutes and 44 seconds. So he barely played. I think he played like 203 on the snaps all year. So heavy rotation at Tennessee. So you want to see him do it a lot more. But 6'2", 291, 33 3/4 arm. I like him a lot. So let's move on to the next guy. For the next guy, we already did a video on him, Darius Alexander. Very strong player. He's a man amongst boys. He's throwing guys out of the way. Still has good athleticism to play all over the line. Great first step. His biggest con is his motor. We talked about all that in the video. Go watch it if you want to see it. I'll have it pinned at the end of this video, and I'll have the little tag at the top whenever we start talking about him. But he's my defensive tackle, 6'4", 305, 172 10-yard split, show his explosiveness, and 34-inch arm. So let's get into the next guy. Let me break the fourth wall because I had to take an intermission for this guy. Defensive tackle 5, my first hot take of the video. Maybe. I don't know. Some of the other ones might have been. Aeneas Peebles out of Virginia Tech. He's 6 foot, 282, 174 10-yard, and only 31 3/8-inch arms. Small guy, simple as that. But he has an explosive, very explosive first step. Whether it's in the run or pass game, he's immediately in the backfield. That's the first thing I saw at Senior Bowl. I talked about it in my Senior Bowl videos. First 2 run plays of the entire week, he was the guy making the tackle in the backfield right when the quarterback handed the ball off. So really fast player, really explosive player. Also, his pass rush bag is so refined. He has spin moves, clubs. He kind of dips in. He's able to slash and attack angles so well. He's in that Milton Williams, Treshawn Wharton role where, yes, you might think this is pretty high, especially in the deep defensive tackle class, but we see what those guys are getting paid. Just being a Treshawn Wharton guy with 1 year with like 5-6 sacks, he's getting you what, like 15, 16 million. So you see how important and impactful those guys are. Milton Williams was probably the best pass rusher on the Eagles last year in that Super Bowl team. So Really, really good player. Now, I don't have this up here for his pros, but he's also surprised me with how well he is in the run. Yes, I'll talk about how explosive and how fast he gets back there. But even when I'm watching the tape against Miami, he's taking on double teams and not moving. Like the same thing with Omar Norman Lott. He's not as good because we'll speak to that in his cons, but he's not being moved at all. He's sticking through double teams. He's sticking through one-on-ones. He's not getting blown off the ball like you would expect for a guy with 31 arms and that's 282 pounds and only 6 foot. Now, he does have that natural leverage advantage because how small he is, but still, it still was surprising to me. So that just made him feel like a much more complete guy. He doesn't have to be a DPR. He can move, play a lot more snaps than you expect him to. Maybe be a 3-down guy. So I like Aeneas Peebles. DT5 for me. I think he's going to make an impact. I don't know where he gets drafted. Probably like 3rd, 4th round because of his height and arm length and stuff like that. But I think after the rookie contracts and guys get a re-up, it'll be another Trayshawn Ward, another Milton Williams situation where he's getting paid more than a guy who's this big, stout run defender and doesn't have as much pass rush, but is going in the 2nd round. So I like Milton Williams a lot, but the cons for me, I do have to say this. His arm length shows up in the run game. Now, like I said, he's not being moved. He's not getting blown off the ball or anything like that. But he's standing tall, but his arms aren't long enough. What I talked about earlier with other guys where he can separate and look and see where the ball is. He can't see. He's just standing there making sure the line of scrimmage isn't moved, but he's not making too many plays from that kind of anchor position because he can't see. He's much closer. He's basically his eyes is in the tackle or guard's chest. I don't know why I keep saying tackle. Guard or center's chest. But if you can get him in a one-on-one and tell him, hey, just slash to this gap, he'll be able to see and be much more explosive. But he does have to work on running past the ball and things like that. So Aeneas Peebles, defensive tackle 5. I like him a lot. I think he will be a great value for somebody. I still want the Panthers to draft him even with Trayshawn Ward. I don't care. He's that good to me. One of the best players at the Senior Bowl. If he went home early, I would have understood it. That's how good he was. But he didn't. He stayed the whole time. So on to the next guy, defensive tackle 4. Now, my defensive tackle 4 and defensive tackle 3 are kind of the same bullet points, but for different reasonings and in different body types. So Kenneth Grant. I don't know why I want to say Kenneth Walker. He's a running back. Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle 4 out of Michigan. 6'4", 331, no 10-yard because he didn't run. He hurt his hamstring. 33 and 1/2 arms, so almost 34-inch arms. Really athletic and agile, especially for his size, but just in general, he's a very smooth mover, really good in finesse, pass rush, and finesse in the run game. But he also has great power. He's able to just overwhelm a guard, overwhelm a center, and run you into the back of the quarterback. We've seen it when they were playing Washington in that national championship, how he's able to easily get the Cam Ward by just walking the guard into him. It works in the run game also. He has powerful hands. He's able to knock guys over and just get around guys and throw them to the side while he's getting to the run. Now, I have seen some people complain that he goes to his finesse too much and he needs to lean more into the power. I can somewhat agree. I think the finesse should be more of your change of pace, but I can also appreciate that, hey, he can't do this, so it makes him a lot more attractive. And I understand, just try to lean into the power more. Because if you can just overwhelm guys, you might as well do it until you need to be, much more of a finesse and agile guy. For his cons, it has to be his consistency. I just need him to be more consistent in his game. Like I said, lean into the power more instead of finesse. Play into your strengths, basically. Just be consistent overall. But he's a really, really good defensive tackle. I think he has top 10 potential, like best nose tackle in the NFL, or second best nose tackle is Dexter Lawrence. Second best nose tackle in the NFL type potential. But he has to, be consistent so he can reach that. So I like Kenneth Grant a lot. He is my DT4, but that shows how good this defensive class is. He's a guy that I think should go in the first round. So let's move on to DT3. Defensive tackle 3, Oregon. Stand up, Go Ducks. Derek Harmon, my guy. Like I said, it's the same thing. His athleticism and agility, it seems like he's always able to just step around the guy and get past him. Like, he's not necessarily speeding explosively through that gap or slanting, something like that, but he's almost just able to 1-2 around, almost a Euro step, but it's not as much. Kind of how an edge rusher does, and just get up under his pads and get around the guy. So Very athletic, very agile, and very smooth as a mover, just like Kenneth Grant. He is also 6'4", but he's 314 instead of 334. 174 10-yard split, so he shows he's a good get off. He has 34 and 3/8 inch arms, so longer arms. And he has good power also. He's able to, overpower guys and play well in the run game, anchor up if he needs to. He's played all over the line from 0 tech, 5, 3, 2I, 4I, whatever you need him to do, he's done it at Oregon because we move our guys around a lot. I think he's just a little more consistent than Kenneth Grant is. That's all it is. And he plays into his strengths not more well, that's not a word, but better than Kenneth Grant does at times. So I think that's what separates them. And in the arm length also, I can see it translating better at the next level. Only con I really have that I want to talk about for right now, his pad level. Sometimes he does pop up, like we talked about earlier with who was it, Tyreek Williams, I want to say. His pad level can get bad at times because he's kind of trying to see what's going on and then go. Sometimes I just need him to go, get his pads low, and then figure out when he's there, or just know what they're doing when you get there. But not to keep saying no, but overall, I love Derek Harmon, especially as an Oregon fan. He always showed up to every game. When we're getting blown out by Ohio State, Derek Harmon's making plays. When we're beating Ohio State, Derek Harmon's making plays. He's making plays throughout the entire year. He was our best defensive lineman last year. Simple as that. So I like Derek Harmon a lot. DT3. Let's move on to 2. Defensive tackle 2. This is my second hot take of this video, which some people have agreed, but not a lot. Mason Graham's going to be my DT2. I already made a video on him. This is not a slight to him. He's a very, very good player, an elite prospect to me. Explosive first snap. He's a technician as a defensive tackle. He can't work on his counters, but he's 6'3", 296, no 10-yard because he didn't run. Only 32-inch arms, so he is a smaller guy. But I like Mason Graham. If you want to see what I had to say about him, go watch the video. I have it in the little card here and at the end of the video. But let's move on into defensive tackle 1, which is a hot take. Now, for my defensive tackle 1, if you see me on other people's shows, One Carolina on the Panther Nation podcast, I've talked about this guy a couple times. Walter Nolan is my defensive tackle 1 out of Ole Miss, out of Texas A&M. Explosive first step. I think he has a much faster first step than almost anybody in this class. It's him and Aeneas Peebles. When he was at the Senior Bowl, he was a blur. Nobody could stay in front of him. He was able to get past everybody that lined up in front of him most of the time just with his first step alone. Sometimes he got past, I want to say, was it Willie Lampkin, who was a 270-pound center, much smaller, lighter guy. He was able to get past him while he was snapping the ball before he even got into his stance. Before he got into his kick step, he was in the backfield. So very explosive first step. He's also dominant at the point of attack. In a one-on-one especially, if you're able to get him in a one-on-one or in a pass rush, anything like that, if he's able to get his hands on somebody, dominant at the point of attack, he's able to walk guys into the lap of quarterbacks, able to use those big clubbing hands to throw guys to the side, get separation with his small arms. So he's a really, really good player to me in the run game. He's probably a little bit better of a run defender. Not a little bit. He's a better run defender than Mason Graham to me because he's much stronger and he's able to two-gap a little bit better than Mason Graham is. And he's also more explosive than him. And I think his ceiling is a lot higher than Mason Graham's. Mason Graham's may have a higher floor, but Walter Nolan has a higher ceiling. So that's what it is for me. It's between, do you want a higher ceiling guy or a higher floor guy, much safer prospect? I personally will put Walter Nolan first. Cons, consistency. Before this year, he was not able to put it all together. Mind you, he was at Texas A&M. We see with this draft, they have a history of guys not figuring it out there for whatever reason on that defensive line. I won't speak to it. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't work. Also, his awareness, I think, could be a lot better sometimes. Like I talked about with Aeneas Peebles, I want to say he overruns plays. He runs past plays. I think he needs to take a step back and start to see where the ball is going a lot more, so he'll make a lot more plays in the backfield and probably would be consistent defensive tackle 1 if he had much better awareness. So 6'4", 296, no 10-yard because we didn't run a 40, 32.5-inch arms, slightly longer than Mason Graham's, I want to say. Yeah, slightly longer, so almost 33-inch arms. Really, really good player, though. I don't have any tape. SEC guy, what can I do? But I love Walter Nolan. They say he might fall because of character concerns, all type of stuff. They said he went to like 7 schools in 5 years. I don't know. But just based off the tape, he's my defensive tackle one. I like him a lot. So that's all I got. Now, that's all I got for this video. So if you liked it, do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe. Do all the YouTube stuff. Turn on the post notice so you get my videos every single time they drop. But comment who you want to see next. What position you want to see next. Or I might even do an eval if y'all ask. Maybe. Let me know who you want to see if you want to see an eval. Look at me up on Cat Crave. I do, Amari Burris, I should say, is on Cat Crave. I do a lot of articles over there. So, and they're mostly evals and college guys. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. I'll see y'all next week.